Washed Up Media all motherfucking day. Today we have a very, very, very special guest, Chris Letchford from Scale to Summit. Chris,
how's it going?
My first question for you, we're gonna get right into this. How is your life so far? Aside from all this music stuff that we all like to ask questions about, how's life in general?
I mean, it couldn't be better, honestly. I actually just proposed to my girlfriend of 9 years. We own a house together, have 2 Great Danes, so we're technically already married by Texas standard, by common law, if you want to say. But yeah, I proposed to her on our 9-year anniversary a couple Fridays ago, and so that's cool. She's actually a professional writer. She wrote a book called Under Lock, and it actually made a New York Times and USA Today bestseller list. So we were all losing sleep, which is great for her because, she did the whole regular job thing, and then I was like, you know what, just quit, just focus on your writing for a couple years, we'll see how it goes. And so both her and I are like now so busy, it's like insane. So but exciting at the same time.
Sounds like a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
Life is good sometimes, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hey, everyone has their ups and downs.
Yeah, But we're gonna get right into this tour. You got Glass Cloud as your headliner. You guys are direct support for them. You got co-headliner.
We actually alternate closing every night. It's kind of complicated.
I love when bands do
yeah.
that. So co-headliner. We got Era Reflections, Monuments, First Time in America, and you guys. Am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody.
No, that's everybody.
How's it hanging out with the boys? You said 4th day on the tour. How are
Great. I mean, some of we've already known, like John Brown. He filled in for Periphery on a Periphery tour we did, so we got to know John really well. Chris Barretto, we've played a couple shows with Ever Forthright, so we got to know them. I've never met any of the Reflections guys or Era and Glass Cloud. Josh Travis and I like talk time to time on the internet, but nothing, nothing in person. So far so cool. I mean everybody's getting along great so far. It's gonna be an awesome tour.
Cool. The extended range, extended family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everybody's got some extra strings on there.
I don't think there's any 6-string guitars on this entire tour.
It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't feel right. Yeah. So 2013, you guys did The Migration. Very well received. I see. To link this with another question, you put out a bunch of instructional books. Not only your own spin on theory and exercises like that, but tab books and stuff like that. How's how are the guitar nerds receiving all the tablature books and stuff like that?
It's cool. I mean, I used to love the stuff that John Petrucci did when I was a kid. So, and the lessons in Guitar World and Guitar One back in the day when I was a kid.
Rock Discipline.
Rock Discipline. Right. Definitely had that. I had a Frank Gabali exercise book that came with a VHS tape, which I obviously don't use anymore because I don't have a VCR. But yeah, I mean, they love the books. I've got like the guide to tapping one, was specifically oriented into like the tapping, multi-fingered stuff that we do. I got ones that cover basic techniques, and then Mark even has his bass book for like sight reading. And the tab books are definitely loved though, just because it gives you more 7-string and 8-string material to work on, and it's transcribed by us. So less mistakes, and it's more exactly how we're playing it. So yeah, it's cool.
Now I know a lot of them actually just directly reference 6-string material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you do that as more so as like a starting point or a fundamental type of reach there?
Yeah, just because extended range is getting more popular, and I'm probably going to end up having to do like legit 7 and 8-string books eventually. I've been asked for 7, definitely not so much 8 anymore, since I don't really play the 8-string anymore, but kids would definitely like it. But the thing is like the theory is so basic, you already have some of the same tuned strings on a 6-string,
right?
So pretty much anything in the exercise you can kind of move down to the B if you've got a B or F sharp on an 8,
right?
So eventually it's just that still the bulk of the guitar community is still on just like regular 6-string guitar, so I figured cater to the mass population of guitar players.
Now you're an extremely reputable face as far as the ERG community is concerned. You got this bad boy sitting on your lap right there. Strandberg, how they treating you? How's Ola treating you over
Good.
there?
Long story short, I actually met Ola just through the internet. I was wanting a headless 7 built. No one was doing it. Steinberger definitely had no interest. I think Gibson owes him or something. But I asked Ola, so I was like the guinea pig. I was the first guy to order a custom from him. So I got number 5. It's not even branded. I don't take it on tour for obvious reasons. I don't want it stolen, But yeah, he actually asked me, I think it was like 4 years later after that, Misha and Tosin obviously started playing Strandberg, and from there his wait list went to 3 years, which is awesome for him and great business-wise. Then he brought up the production line, and I was like, yeah, whatever you guys are doing, I definitely want to be involved because I still love playing the guitars. Asked me if I wanted a signature. Of course, it's a dream to have a signature guitar, and especially one that's super unique, and I get to spec the entire thing out. It's not just like another, you know, RG shape or something, you know. So I was just excited to be involved with something new and innovative.
Cool. Now, let's nerd out a little bit.
Okay.
Woods. I see your frets got a little bit of a fan going. You know, EMG pickups. Like, what preference woods do you have for?
Personally, I like mahogany for the body. I've done mahogany forever. I actually had rosewood set down for the specs, but they wrote back saying, hey, it's not available as easily to get in complete necks, whatever. Even though these are laminate, like, with the carbon fiber. So we went with Cocobolo. It's another dense wood. It's nice and stable. And then I just always loved the look of the flame maple. So though this model right here is a one-off for me in the sparkle, mine comes standard with the quilted maple top in blue or quilted maple top in brown with gold pickups. So the fan fret, it's the 26.25 to here on the low end, and then 25.5 on the high end for the high E. And I tune in the standard, and this is like perfect for string tension.
Right.
I used to have one that I think it was like 3/4 of an inch shorter, down like 24.5. I don't remember exactly what the first one was. He built me, but it was just a little bit too soft for standard tuning. So you'd want probably a little longer if you're going to do some crazy down tune stuff. Like I was actually talking to Josh Travis about that with Strandberg, him needing like a, you know, crazy 30-inch scale, or you have to do like 100 gauge string to get it down to A or whatever he's doing. So yeah, so the fan fret's actually really nice too for playability and stuff. It's got Luma inlay dots. I like the two-way switch actually, and then ebony knobs, and that's pretty much it.
Beautiful instrument. Is it still kind of weird seeing people play the CL7 as they call it? You know.
I mean, when I see other people playing it, yeah, I mean it's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just the same thing. Like when I was a kid, I looked up to John Petrucci, and I'm in no way as famous as John Petrucci was when I was a kid. But I'm, you know, on my way to hopefully, you know, bigger and better things with guitar. So it's just cool having kids be stoked about my playing and inspiring them like John Petrucci did for me and all the other guys I liked.
Right. Now you mentioned the whole guinea pig section. Is it something that you're willing to, you know, just push that envelope a little bit and try things that people aren't, you know, necessarily out of the natural comfort zone of regular guitar playing? Are you into that? Are you ready to?
Well, for me, I've had probably the worst luck working with new builders, and especially when they're just one guy. I've had like just the shittiest luck forever. But the thing was with Ola was he designed his own bridge system.
Right.
So I was like, okay, this guy obviously has engineering skills and knows what he's doing. There's no way that there can be any flaws in the guitar when it arrives. Or even from a business standpoint, there's no BS with him. He finished everything on time.
Right.
That's what it was exciting. So it's just exciting for me to not only be able to have a really unique, innovative guitar, was to be able to work with someone who actually gave a shit.
Yeah,
so
that's important. A lot of builders just kind of leave you hanging there.
2 years, no communication, take your money and leave, send you something that you didn't order.
Unfortunately,
you know,
a lot of the bigger builders do that too.
Yeah, I mean, it happens with everyone. It's obviously, if it touches a human hand, there's likely it's going to be full of mistakes. I mean, that's just the way that it works. But thankfully, there's no BS, and if there's anything wrong, he'll fix it. You know.
Cool.
So it's nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah. Now you do. You're pushing some solo stuff right now. Lightbox. Me personally, I heard the first single that you released. Loved it. Very fusion-esque. A little more tapped into fusion than I feel Scale the Summit would normally do. How's that treating you? You know.
It's awesome. I think it came out. I don't even know what day it is, but 3 days ago on Tuesday. I think today's Thursday. But yeah, I mean, we toured with the Reign of Kendo, and I've been a fan forever.
Right.
So after watching Steven play drums every night, I was like, okay. I was like, I got to do something with this guy. And I had actually already been writing kind of like a jazzist, all clean record, you know, still in the style of me. But after seeing him, I was like, man, we got to do something. And so at the end of the tour, I was like, hey, would you be interested? And that guy does so much session stuff and tours with all kinds of bands that I didn't know if it was timing, but it just happened to work out. And then I had Mark playing some bass, and then I asked Evan Brewer. And then we finished it off with piano, which is the new piano player who wrote the newest Reign of Kendo record, Daniel. So he did an amazing job. Like, I didn't send him charts or anything. I just sent him the tunes and was like, lay down some sweet piano on this. So I just wanted to collaborate with some other guys and just do something different. I honestly had just a blast making this record compared to the band's ones. I think it's just so routine with the band. There was just something fresh. But yeah, it's going awesome, and I've always wanted to work with a piano player. So
now, as Lightbox, climbs in its popularity, people get more familiar with it. What can we expect out of Scale the Summit as far as new material?
Well, we played a new song tonight called Surya Maria. We're going to try and actually, when we play in Chicago, we're going to be cutting kind of like a live 4-song, I think, just thing to release digitally.
Cool.
We're going to definitely play it. Yeah, we're definitely going to play that song so that we can kind of just get it out there just for people to check it out. Pat, our drummer, labeled it as the best Skull Summit song yet. So, I mean, we're really excited. Like, every night we play it, there's this middle section of the song that's just, like, the most epic thing we've ever written. So, I'm just really excited. But that one will definitely be on the next record. So, I'm not sure yet if we're going to end the Migration album cycle with this tour. We're still trying to go to Australia at the very end. And then we've got some things, like possibly a Berkeley clinic and in the fall and the winter. So, but if not, we're probably going to end and try and enter the studio again early spring again with Jamie King and finish it up and have it out by the summer again. So,
Excellent.
Be a little bit quicker. Usually we surpass like 2 years before it kind of is actually released. So I'm excited to get started on new band stuff because I've been writing for the band. So
cool. So it's all just waiting to get out.
Yeah, pretty much. I've got like 3 songs left to finish, and like we've got a whole new full length ready to be recorded.
Now, do you with Lightbox, do you plan on touring or playing live with any of that stuff?
I hope so, but my number one thing is it has to be with the lineup that's on the CD.
Okay.
So schedules align. I know I've already mentioned it to everybody, and they're all like, we're down. So it's just going to be that schedule with the band, and then just being the right tour, because since it's kind of like a jazz fusion, it wouldn't be really like, I'm a big fan of that Dirty Loops band. I don't know if you've heard them.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. It's awesome.
Pop music by jazz people.
Yeah, I mean,
excellent stuff.
Those guys are like the top session players in like Scandinavia or whatever, in Sweden. So It's freaking amazing stuff. Them, Reina Kindo, maybe Trioscapes, something like that. It would be cool. Like, even if all 4 of those could do a tour, it'd be incredible.
That'd be excellent.
So if the right, I'm completely up for it. So if anyone's watching that wants to make it happen, I'm always down for touring, and Lightbox needs to be live. So
it absolutely does need to be live. Now, to wrap things up, instrumental music, it seems like it's really carving its own niche now. It's really like come to full fruition. You could see pioneers of a whole genre that relates to normally vocally driven stuff. You could really see the instrumental bands being pioneers. You guys are, labeled as definitely one of the pioneers right now, along with bands like Animals as Leaders.
Mm-hmm.
You've got up-and-comers, our friends in Chan.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you instrumental?
I've always just been... I don't dislike metal. I've liked metal for so many years. I've just I turned 30 this year, and not that age really has anything to do with it, but I just kind of growing a little bit less interested in screaming.
Right.
And before, we actually had originally planned on doing kind of like a Between the Buried and Me style. This was like over 10 years ago. Me and Travis moved out to LA for Musicians Institute, and it just didn't happen. We wrote a few songs. We're like, you know what? They sound complete without it. It took some convincing to our drummer and bassist at the time, but we did it and we stuck through it. But that's the crazy thing is, back then there was like Liquid Tension didn't tour, Canvas Solaris didn't tour.
Right.
We were the only thing out there besides like Red Sparrows, kind of like more of the down tempo kind of whatever instrumental music you want to call. And then we released Carving Days of Canyons, and before then, that was like a year before self-titled from Animals as Leaders came about. We were already out touring Carving Days of Canyons. No one gave a shit. Promoters were like, oh, instrumental bands drawing. So it's incredible to see how far it came with, intervals popping up. Chan, there's that new band Polyphia, Animals as Leaders.
Conquering Dystopia.
Yeah, Conquering Dystopia. Yeah, Jeff Loomis solo album touring. Like, it's just cool to see just where instrumental has came when we did it back when no one really cared. And instrumental music's been around forever. But in a touring stance and in this kind of genre, it hasn't been. And so it's just awesome, man. It's just, we rough through like the really rough times when people really didn't care.
Yeah.
So it was really exciting, and Animals Leaders like definitely helped, because having the two of us doing it, kind of, they're more in the gent scene and us kind of like in the prog rock scene, was like really helpful, kind of combining that. And they've elevated to so many great things now, so it's awesome.
Cool. There you have it. Chris Letchford, Scale the Summit. Grab the migration. You should have it already, you know. But till then, just tune in. Watch the video all my fucking way, man.